Many property entrepreneurs work at home right now. And are you one of those people that are working at home and you have maybe converted your old garage and you stay in a gated community and you are wondering how best can you be compliant, and maybe you've done this illegally and maybe your body corporate doesn't even know that you have done this? Well, my good friend, I personally stay in a gated area. I stay in an estate. And within that estate, I have seen a whole lot of things going wrong, and having trustees having to fight with some of these guys just to be compliant. Back in the days, I don't think that whenever one was selling a property, the banks were sticky around asking for plans and things like that. Whereas today, there's lots of requirements that are now needed, especially if you're buying your property using a bank. And we are going to be talking about how best can you be compliant. So submitting your plans. So you bought a property in a gated community and you are now in a communal area with a body corporate. So there's a big brother, body corporate. And now you are wanting to change the plans. Whether it's your garage that you have turned into an office, whether it's adding a swimming pool, whether it's building on an extra room, you are allowed to do these things, right? By the way, you are allowed to do it. But the question is, how best do you do it? And I've brought in my good friend Dumisani because he's been helping me and helping many other people in my complex to solve this problem. And I thought maybe let's discuss it so that you can be able to work from home in your office compliant, your insurance is happy, your body corporate is happy, and everybody is happy, and you can do your work without sitting in the bush of your own house. Dumisani, welcome.
Hi, TJ.
How do we solve for this problem? I think it's a very simple problem, but I see people fighting.
Yeah, I think the first mistake starts when people buy into we call it a sectional title.
Right.
They don't.
The body corporate.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So people, I think even with estate agencies, they don't explain in detail what does it mean. Right. It's not like from a freestanding house or a freestanding unit, okay? So when you buy into a body corporate, there's what we call a sectional title. We'll use the body corporate because that's the well-known, the famous word. There's what we call conduct rules.
Right.
So the conduct rules will say what can be done and what cannot be done, because in essence, when you buy in a body corporate, you are actually saying the inside is mine, the outside is common property.
Right.
Sometimes it will come with a swimming pool. So the swimming pool is still on a communal or a common property.
Yeah.
But you have been given that space to use it as your own private space.
Sure.
But legally it still belongs to any other resident.
Right.
So I can move from my unit and come and swim in your unit because it's common property, it's for all of us.
I know, you're being sensitive. Controversial.
Yes, you know,
yes.
But that is how it is, okay?
Yeah.
So if you make any external or exterior changes, you need to get an authorization from the body corporate. And who's the body corporate? Remember, the people that are trustees are not the body corporate. The body corporate, it's you as an owner.
Right.
You are the body corporate, but the trustees are just a representative of the bigger scheme of people, because you just need to have proper management and day-to-day activity and running of the complex itself. So if you are to add any extension or convert any garage, depending on what your conduct rules say, I know in most of this body corporate, the conduct rule will say all the units need to look the same.
Right.
If it's white frame windows, it's white frame windows.
Yeah.
If the garages are open, which is a carport, it remains like that. Should you change, then you apply. Should you want to change, you apply. And the body corporate, which is the managing agent at the time, and the trustees, they have a right to approve or not to approve.
Right.
It's a right that they will look at the conduct rule and look at how severe would it change everything else.
Yeah.
It's a different case where you have golf estates that have sectional title, but they still have what you call full title in them. Okay. That is why they are painted different colors. That's why they are not the same design patterns, but they have a standard of what we need as a minimum threshold of a design.
Like Denfen estate.
Exactly.
It's a gated community,
Yes.
but the houses look totally different.
Exactly. You see. So as and when you buy, my advice would be find out what you're buying into.
Right.
Let the agent also share the conduct rules with you, because the conduct rules will tell you what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. A simple thing like you might buy in and you have dogs and you find that it's not a pet-friendly complex. Then what must you do after it is registered? It means you must take your dogs and give them away or give them to SPCA. So when it comes to building plans, anything that you are going to do, because remember we're talking about a section. So a section is registered at the Chief Surveyor General to say is 60 square meters. You add another 20. It will mean you'll need to now go and do an application for the building plans. Once the building plans have been approved, you go and amend your sectional title of that particular unit at the Chief Surveyor General with a land surveyor. So the land surveyor will take the building plans, plot it proper again and show where there's now the new extension or where there's now a new swimming pool or a new carport or whatever, then submit it to the Chief Surveyor General to amend the sectional title scheme of Body Corporate X so that it's registered and it's captured like that. Because should it not be captured like that, when the bank comes, they are not going to take that new extension into consideration when they have to evaluate and when they have to now give a bond or finance that particular property. They'll only finance up until where the sectional title has also been changed, the sectional unit has been amended or changed. So it's important to ensure that whatever changes you do, especially externally, are recorded correctly.
If you're in property investment, at some point or the other, you have had to evict someone. And I know, my friends, it is a painful exercise. But I'm here to tell you that for the last couple of years, I've been using a company that is called Expello. Expello, basically what they do is that you pay them a monthly fee. And over and above that, whenever you get a delinquent tenant, they will come and evict that individual free of charge, because obviously you've been paying, right? And over and above that, you don't have to do anything. But guess what? I have managed to organize a good price for you. And the link here that you're seeing, which is called expello.link./TJ Tribe, gets you a great discount from Expello. So my friends, don't be caught with your pants down on your tenant. Just Expello them with Expello. It is TJ. Let's go back to the video. Right. So basically what you're saying here, Dusan, if I understand you correctly, the first thing is that you need to get consent or approval from the body corporate. So the body corporate needs to approve to that.
Correct.
I'm going to come back and ask the question, what if they say no, right?
Yes.
So now they've said yes. And you now need to appoint an architect. And who else do you need to do? Does the town planner need to get involved?
Not always, unless if the coverage of the entire sectional scheme is now being exceeded.
Wow.
So normally when that scheme was approved, it will be approved with 50% coverage, let's say. So meaning all those houses combined together, when you bring them together into that particular property, they must not exceed 50% coverage.
Right.
We've had an instance where they had exceeded. We had now to either apply a consent, depending on how many percent has it increased. You can either do a consent. If it's above the minimum threshold, then you do a full rezoning to increase that coverage. Then that's when you will have a town planner. But it's not always where you need a town planner.
Okay, so basically an architect is good to go.
It's good to go.
And now the architect now needs to work around with the engineers to make sure that all of these things that you're talking about.
Yes.
The architect is the person that's now going to redraw the desired changes.
Yes.
Hopefully you haven't done the changes. But if you've done the changes, then it's a retroing whatever that's been changed. And take the same application that was approved with the body corporate and then send that through to the council for an approval. Right. I'm just making sure, I'm a little bit slower. I like to understand things clearly. What if the body corporate says no to Nissan? In your experience as the town planner, or do you see this often?
Okay, so the chances of body corporates agreeing are 30% yes and 70% in most of the cases no.
Yeah. It also depends on your relationship with the body corporate, because many a chairwoman out there or chairpersons or trustees, they are seen as the enemy of the body corporates, but they are actually working for you.
Exactly, they are there not to represent their own interest, they are there to represent the interest of every owner.
Right.
So that is why they would want to keep all the units looking the same.
Right.
So if they see that this might have a dire change on the entire scheme, how it's going to look, its character, they might say no.
Right.
Okay. However, I stand to be corrected, but I think it's about before COVID, a new council for sectional title schemes has been introduced. They are called SEISU.
Yes, I've seen that one.
Yes, so should you feel that you are not being done right, you can always go and appeal to them. They are an independent body under the government, which they belong under the Human Settlement Department. So they will be able to evaluate, because obviously they don't know you. They manage all the schemes in the country.
Right. I think we're already paying for them.
Yes,
so if you have to see on your levies,
yes,
section there that you're paying, it's a minimum fee.
Yes,
but we are paying them.
You are paying. It might be 30 rands, it might be 15 rands, it might be 100 rands. It depends on how big your schemes are and all of that. So they are the ones that then can say no. The trustees and the managing agent got it wrong here. They must give you the permission, or they will say no. Your conduct rules are the ones that are saying no. Remember, your conduct rules are not drafted by and approved by the trustees. The trustees can help the managing agent to draft them, but you as the owner, you approve them. So if you've agreed to them and they say no, it means you said no to your own changes, because you were part of those who said no, or those who said yes. Because remember, at the end of the day, majority, unfortunately, in a democratic country, majority rules. Even if when the rules were changed, you were not for the rules, you are against the rules. But because the majority approved them, it means you follow suit. You agreed by default.
So this is pretty an easy process, but based on people's behaviors and they think that the other one is wrong is right, it becomes a very complex situation. Because I'm just thinking now, I think the default for many people is not to go to the ombudsman for complexes, is to bring in their own lawyer.
Exactly.
Right? Exactly. And yet there's another process that we are bypassing. But my friends, if you find yourself in a situation like that one, where it's just getting heated, there's the solution that you've got. But over and above that, reach out to us and we might just be able to help you in the comments. Let us know. But there is also details that you can reach out to us and we will be able to help you. We are here to help you. It is I, your boy, TJ. We'll check you out on the next video.